For your dog, bath time isn't just water and soap, it's a full sensory ambush that activates their fight or flight response. And I don't mean that metaphorically. I mean their cortisol spikes, their heart rate shoots up, and their brain literally tells them escape or defend. So if your dog shakes, tries to bolt, hides under the bed the second they hear the water running, they're not being dramatic. They're not stubborn. They're scared. And the worst part, most of us are accidentally making that fear worse every single time we bathe them. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what's happening inside your dog's brain during a bath, why the usual approach almost always backfires, and the step-by-step method that veterinary behaviorists actually use to fix this permanently. And before you think this is just for anxious dogs, stick around, because there's a detail in the middle of this video that changes everything about how you read your dog's behavior, not just in the tub, everywhere. Here's the thing nobody tells you when you adopt a dog. Dogs don't process the world the way we do. Their primary sense is smell. Their secondary sense is hearing. Vision comes third, which means the moment you turn on that shower before a single drop of water touches them, your dog has already received a storm of information. Their brain is flagging as dangerous. The sound of rushing water, the smell of shampoo and chemicals, the slippery floor beneath their paws, the confined space, the loss of control over where they can move. Each one of those things alone is manageable, but stacked together, they create what animal behaviorists call sensory overload, and the brain responds to sensory overload the same way it responds to any threat. The amygdala fires, adrenaline releases, and the body prepares to run or fight. Here's the research that makes this impossible to ignore. A 2019 study published in Applied Animal Behavior Science measured cortisol levels in dogs before, during, and after grooming sessions. Dogs with no prior negative grooming history still showed cortisol spikes during the bath. Not because something bad happened, because the environment itself, the sounds, the smells, the confinement was enough to trigger a stress response. So when your dog is panicking in the tub, they're not misbehaving. They're having a physiological fear response. And here's why that matters. If you push through that fear response repeatedly, hold them down, force them in, just get it done, you're not teaching them the bath is fine. You're teaching them the bath is exactly as dangerous as they thought. Because nothing bad happened and they still survived? No. Because they're not processing it that way at all. There's a concept in behavioral science called learned helplessness. It was first documented in dogs, literally in dogs, by psychologist Martin Seligman in the 1960s. When a subject is exposed to an aversive situation they cannot escape or control, they eventually stop trying to escape. They go quiet. They shut down. And here's the brutal irony. A lot of dog owners see that stillness and think the bath is going fine now. The dog is calm. They just needed to get used to it. They're not calm. They've given up. A 2020 paper in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior described this exact pattern in grooming contexts. Dogs that appeared tolerant during bathing showed physiological stress markers: increased cortisol, elevated heart rate, flattened body posture, lip licking, yawning that their owners were completely misreading as relaxation. The dog learned that struggling didn't work. So they stopped struggling. The fear didn't go away. It just went inward. And this is why the standard approach, just push through it, they'll learn doesn't just fail, it actively builds a deeper, more embedded fear response. Every forced bath is another data point for your dog's brain. This place, this smell, this sound means something bad happens and I can't stop it. That's the pattern you have to break. And the good news is you can. Veterinary behaviorists and certified fear-free groomers use a protocol called desensitization and counter-conditioning. It sounds technical. The actual process is surprisingly simple. The idea is this: you separate every part of the bath experience into individual pieces, expose your dog to each piece at zero intensity, and pair each exposure with something genuinely positive. You're not tricking them. You're literally rewriting the emotional association their brain has attached to each trigger. Step 1: the room, without anything happening. For 3 to 5 days, just bring your dog into the bathroom. Don't turn anything on. Don't touch the tub. Sit on the floor with them. Give them high-value treats, not their regular kibble, something they only get in this context. Let them sniff around, explore, leave when they want. The goal is simple. The bathroom starts meaning good things happen here. Step 2: the sounds, separated from the water. Run the shower in a different room and let your dog hear it from a distance. Treat. Move closer over several sessions. Only introduce the sound of water actually near your dog once their body language is relaxed loose muscles, soft eyes, tail in a neutral position. Step 3: the surface. Slippery floors are a massive stress trigger that almost no one accounts for. Put a non-slip mat in the tub or shower area before you ever introduce water. Let your dog step onto it. Treat, step off, repeat. The physical sensation of stable footing changes the experience significantly. Step 4: water contact starting from the paws. Not a full bath, not even close. Use a cup or a low-pressure handheld sprayer. Touch their paws with lukewarm water. Treat, stop, come back tomorrow. Over multiple sessions, move from paws to legs to body, always watching their body language, always stopping before they hit their threshold. This is the part most people rush. They do it once and then try a full bath the next day. Don't. The research on desensitization is very clear. Progress made too fast collapses under pressure. Slow is fast here. Step 5: build a pre-bath ritual. One of the most effective techniques in fear-free grooming is creating a predictable pre-bath routine that your dog learns to associate with positive outcomes. Same sequence every time. A specific treat, a specific cue word, a specific mat they go to. Predictability reduces anticipatory anxiety. When the brain knows what's coming, it has less reason to panic. A 2022 study in Frontiers in Veterinary Science found that dogs exposed to consistent positive pre-handling routines showed significantly lower stress markers during actual grooming compared to dogs with unpredictable handling, even when the handling itself was identical. Here's the part I mentioned at the beginning that changes how you read your dog. Not just during baths. All the time. Dogs communicate stress constantly, and most of us have been taught to read it completely wrong. Growling during a bath is not aggression, it's communication. It's your dog saying, I am at my limit, I need this to stop. The worst thing you can do, and this is backed by behavioral research, is punish the growl, because the dog doesn't stop being scared, they just stop warning you. And that's when bites happen with no warning. Lip licking when there's no food present. Yawning in a context that isn't sleepy, turning their head away, suddenly sniffing the floor intensely. These are all calming signals, a term coined by Norwegian dog trainer Turid Rugas, and they mean your dog is trying to communicate discomfort or diffuse a situation they perceive as threatening. Learn these signals, and they become your early warning system. The moment you see them during a bath, you stop, not as punishment for the dog, as information. Their stress level just crossed a threshold, and if you keep going, you're past their ability to learn anything. You're just in survival mode territory. The goal is to keep every session below that threshold. Short, positive, successful. End before they want to leave. That's how trust gets built. Not by getting through it, by stopping before it falls apart. Once your dog has a solid foundation, and this can take 2 weeks or it can take 2 months depending on how embedded the fear already is, the full bath becomes something they can tolerate, and eventually something they're neutral or even positive about. But there are a few things that make a permanent difference beyond the training itself. Temperature matters more than people think. Lukewarm water, not cold, not hot. Dogs are sensitive to temperature in ways we underestimate. Scent matters. Heavily fragranced shampoos are aversive to a dog's nose. Look for unscented or lightly scented products, and you remove one of the major sensory stressors from the equation. Drying matters. The sound of a blow dryer is another massive trigger for a lot of dogs. Towel dry first, always. If you use a dryer, use the lowest heat setting. Introduce it gradually and keep it at a distance. And here's the thing that ties all of this together. Every interaction you have with your dog during a vulnerable moment, whether that's a bath, a vet visit, nail trimming, anything, is either building trust or eroding it. There's no neutral. Every time you read their signals and respond to them, you're telling them, I hear you. You're safe with me. That's not just better for bath time. That's the foundation of the entire relationship. So if your dog hates the bath right now, don't see it as a problem to fix. See it as information. Their brain learns something, and with the right approach, it can learn something completely different. Subscribe if you want to keep decoding the science behind how your dog actually thinks and feels. Drop a comment below, how does your dog react to bath time? Because based on what we talked about today, the answer tells you a lot more than you would expect. Next video, we're going into something completely different. And the psychology behind it is stranger than you'd think.